Alright, greetings YouTube. This is Dean with Board Game Social. I'm bringing you my second video and my GenCon preview. Now these are games that I hope to actually buy because they're debuting at GenCon, or at least I'm going to take a look at it to see if I want to buy them. And you know, they might be sold out depending on how many they have, or I might just decide I don't need it right this second and I'll just order it when I get home for a cheaper cost. So before I start the top 10 games, I do have some honorable mentions, and these honorable mentions are based on either I already own them or have pre-ordered them, or they were going to have such limited numbers available that I just didn't figure I'd ever get them, so I wasn't going to try to tease myself and saying that, hey, I want to buy this, or they are just games that didn't quite make the top 10. So with that being said, the honorable mentions, and these are the ones that I already own or I've pre-ordered, are Broom Service, which again was it was a Kennerspiel winner from just about a month ago, and it's produced by Aaliyah and Ravensburger. It's a card-based bluffing game, hand management, and I ended up picking this one up from Board Game Bliss out of Canada because they generally can get a lot of European games, and any game I can pick up ahead of time that I don't have to fight the crowds for at GenCon or carry around is a plus for me, because price-wise it's going to be about the same. So again, that's Broom Service. The other game that is being demoed at GenCon, but I went ahead and backed it on Kickstarter, is called New Bedford. New Bedford is a game produced by Greater Than Games. It was a failed attempt about a year or so ago, but it is a worker placement style game with the theme of whaling in the 18th century. Or the 19th century. So it's one of those style games that maybe the theme turns you off. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of themes out there that could be considered controversial, but it looks pretty good. I enjoy the art on it. I like the mechanics of it. So I went ahead and backed it on Kickstarter, and it's doing very well. It's already funded. It's almost doubled its funding goal. And they got quite a few stretch goals that are out there. So check it out. If you like stretch goals that you may not be able to get other places, or that you just want to get everything at one time, check out the Kickstarter campaign. Again, that's New Bedford by Greater Than Games. Another game that I've already pre-ordered was Ashes. Ashes I played at Origins, or I demoed at Origins. Absolutely love it. Beautiful game. Plaid Hat Games has hit another one out of the park. It's going to be a big seller. It's going to have expansions. It's card drafting, it's hand management, it's dice manipulation, it's everything I love in a game. And in case you didn't catch it the first time, it is absolutely freaking gorgeous art. So again, Ashes, I'm sure you've all heard of it. Check it out, order it, buy it, enjoy it. I don't think you'll be disappointed in the game. Okay, my next honorable mention list, these are the ones that are limited availability. And by that I mean they said they're going to have 150 copies, 100 to 150 copies available. And I'm just not going to fight that crowd to get these games when they're going to be available in another couple months anyways. I've got so many games that I haven't played. It would be stupid for me to fight that crowd just to be able to buy a game and then carry it around with me for the next several hours. So the three honorable mentions I have in this category are Mysterium, and this is the new version, Libelin. It's a, if you haven't heard Mysterium, it's a deduction co-op game. One player is playing the ghost where they can't speak, but they give you clues and cards. You're trying to deduce who the murderer was. Think of Dixit with a murder mystery dinner theater theme. You then have Blood Rage by Cool Mini or Not. Area Control, it is Ameritrash at its greatest. I didn't back it on Kickstarter only because I hate getting sucked into that Cool Mini or Not money pit where they're just going to keep pumping out expansion after expansion after expansion without knowing enough about the game. Now I hear it's great. Maybe I missed the boat. I probably did. I could have got all the bells and whistles with it, but I'll check it out when it comes out and we'll see if it's really as good as what everyone's saying. But that was my honorable mention, only because I think they're bringing 150 copies and I'm not going to get stuck in the stampede that's going to be it's going to be part of that. And then finally, Champions of Midgard, same thing, 150 copies available. It's going to be released in October to the masses. Again, why fight the fight? To me, it's just not worth it. So it's dice rolling, it's worker placement. I hear great things about this game. I love the theme. I like Vikings. I like worker placement. I like dice. So I definitely will buy it. but I'm just not gonna, you know, these little short, stubby, pudgy legs are not gonna get into that fight of trying to race somebody to a booth and throw money at the poor guys. So my honorable mention list for games that are debuting but just didn't quite make the cut of my top 10 games are games like The World of Smog. The World of Smog is another Cool Mini or Not game, but it's The World of Smog on Her Majesty's service. So it's a steampunk theme. It has auction. It has miniatures. It looks really cool, but I don't know enough about it to say yes, I definitely want to buy it. So I'm going to take a look at it, see what it's all about. Again, it's one of those where I don't think I've seen Cool Mini are not really promoting it, so I don't know if it's one where they're going to have a lot of expansions, but I'm always leery about those Cool Mini or Not games because they can just become absolute money pits as the game progresses. But if it's that good, maybe it's worth it. So I'll check it out and let you know. Another one is Star Trek 5-Year Mission. I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but I do kind of like the idea of having either the classic Star Trek or the Next Generation Star Trek as playable people. It has variable powers, it's dice rolling, it's co-op, and I think I'm with a lot of other people on this where it sounds great and it could be excellent, but it could also be very, very bad at the same time. I don't have a problem with the stock photos from the shows. That doesn't bother me. I'd rather almost have that than just really bad artwork. So again, it's one that I want to check out. Although I will say Mayfair Games has a tendency to make really nice box covers, and the games themselves aren't that great. Although I do love Caverna, but like the game Extra, beautiful box. I didn't like the game. It just wasn't for me. And I like worker placement games, but the interior art and everything just, to me, left a lot to be desired. But the game itself just wasn't something that I really enjoyed playing. Another game that was an honorable mention for me is Heroes of Normandy. They have their 2 expansions coming out, Carentan and St. Mary-Glise. I really like Heroes of Normandy. I think it's one of those games that kind of just falls between the cracks, because you're going to get the regular casual gamer that isn't going to play it because they think it's a war game, and then you're going to get the war gamer who's not going to take it serious because it either doesn't have miniatures, or you know, the chits aren't the super small chits that you can push 1,000 of them around. So unfortunately, it just kind of falls in between those two groups. I think it's a very nice game. I really enjoy it. I love the art. I like the interaction. I like that it's card driven to a certain extent. And I like how they did the board with the icons and stuff on the board, so you're not constantly referring back to the book and everything else. So if you haven't checked out Heroes of Normandy, you might want to take a look at it again. It may not be in your wheelhouse. I mean, it is a war game in my opinion. There's no doubt about it. But it's not a heavy war game by any means. Heavier than Memoir 44, not as heavy as, you know, like the granddaddy of them all, Advanced Squad Leader by any means. So Heroes of Normandy, the Carentan and St. Mary-Glise expansions. And then New York 1901. You know, I've seen so much about it recently, and everyone has playthrough videos, that I feel like the buzz for me has just kind of been let down. I'll still buy it because I like tile placement. I like that style of game. But the hype and the buzz isn't there for me to run out and make sure that it's in my top 10 purchases at GenCon. I'll probably just wait and order it later on. I can get it at a better price. And I think probably a lot of that is just because of all the videos that are already out there about it. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of let the air out of the balloon a little bit for me about New York 1901. And then my final honorable mention is Victory in Europe. It's by Columbia Games. It is a classic block-style war game, card-driven, dice rolling, and it covers the entire war, 1939 to 1945. Now, I love block-style war games. That is my weakness. I know a lot of people hate them, but that was the first style war game that I was ever introduced back in the 1980s to, and we did it in our classroom when I was in high school. And to me, there's just something so simple and elegant about that style of game. So Victory in Europe is definitely one that I'm going to check out, depending on the price point, because Columbia Games can be very expensive. I may or may not purchase it. Okay, my number 10 game for GenCon 2015 that are debuting that I hope to purchase as long as they meet the muster once I look at them in person. My number 10 is Warehouse 51. Warehouse 51, this is produced by FunForge and Passport Games, designed by Bruno Feduti as well as a couple of others, but honestly, once you get Bruno Feduti on there, who, you know, doesn't really matter who the other two are, that name's going to sell enough probably on its own. It is a $25 price point. It's 3 to 5 players, roughly 45 minutes in length. It's a card game, it's an auction, it's a set collection, and the idea is that the government's run out of money, and so they're auctioning off all these things from the Area 51 warehouse, hence Warehouse 51. You are there trying to bid on things. Some of the things you get will be total fakes. Some of the things you get will actually have powers that will change how the rest of the game is played. The artwork is beautiful, and I just like that whole Area 51 sort of conspiracy theory, mythology, you know, did these things really exist? Does the government have them? Do they know about them? Sort of thing. So it looks like something that'll definitely be a genre that I'll like, and I like the fact that it's fairly short, 45 minutes, and it's a card game. So Warehouse 51, my number 10 by FunForge / Passport Games. All right, my number 9 is an expansion to Valley of the Kings called Valley of the Kings Afterlife. This is for 1 to 4 players. It's produced by AEG. Tom Cleaver is the designer. And it is a card drafting, hand management, scoring cards once you entomb them. To me, think of Dominion, but with a better theme. Like kind of a cool theme. If you like that Egyptian theme or genre, then you'll probably like Valley of the Kings. And honestly, this game has really flown under the radar. It's a game that came out at the same time as Star Realms. Star Realms really overshadowed it. But this is a quality game. It's just a you know, I wouldn't say it's an overlooked period because Egypt isn't, but as far as card games are concerned, it definitely is overlooked because it's not fantasy, it's not sci-fi, so therefore it's one of those things that you know, you don't typically see in a small card game, at least card drafting game. So check it out. My number 9, Valley of the Kings Afterlife, an expansion. Okay, my number 8 is from Stronghold Games, and that is Space Cadets Away Missions. Now, Space Cadets is a game that I didn't particularly care for because it's a real-time dice rolling. To me, it's just chaos and pandemonium and not something that really truly interests me. So this one, though, is more turn-based, scenario-driven. You have action point allowances, there are dice, but it's a co-op style of game, 90 minutes in length, and you can play from 1 to 6 players. So it intrigues me that it does have a solo variant with it. It is the one thing that is a downside for me is that the price point is supposed to be about $100. So I don't know if I'll pick it up at the convention or if I'll just wait to order it online where it's cheaper, but it's definitely one that I will check out and see if it's something that I want to follow up on. So again, that's Space Cadets Away Missions by Stronghold Games, designed by Dan Raspler and Al Rose. Sorry. Okay, my number 7 for GenCon 2015 games that are debuting that I hope to pick up or at least look at to make sure I want to buy them. My number 7 is Medieval Academy by Blue Cocker / Yellow Games. Now, everyone's heard about Medieval Academy by now. It's been beat like a dead horse since Essen last year. People got advanced copies or European copies, so on and so forth. It's, you know, everyone knows it's a good game. It is a card drafting, very simple, a gateway game, 30 minutes, 2 to 5 players, and it just has a pretty cool theme. So I'm not really going to belabor the point, but I do hope to pick it up. It has a $40 price point, so if it's available, I'll probably get it because, you know, I might save $5 getting it online. But if it's there, I'll go ahead and snag it while I can. Again, that's number 7, Medieval Academy by Blue Cocker / Yellow Games. Okay, my number 6, again, is another game that's just been beat to death by people talking about it for the last year, and that is Viceroy. Viceroy by Mayday Games. I saw it at Origins. They were demoing it. And again, my one knock on it there was, while it's a beautiful game, I really felt like the the card stock of the tiles was very thin, very flimsy, and I just wondered how that would hold up over the course of time. It's a $33 price point, so I mean, yeah, for 33 bucks, I guess you're not expecting the to have it on stone tablets. But again, I'm a little leery about the quality of the components, at least the thickness of them. 1 to 4 players, 60 minutes, set collection, auction game. If you haven't heard about Viceroy, check out the numerous videos that are out there about it. But it may be something that you like, and hopefully it's something that I like and that I can actually get a copy of, which I think I can. I think people are excited about it. I think enough people backed it on Kickstarter that there won't be a huge rush to get to it at the con. So my number 6, Viceroy. Okay, my number 5 is called The Grizzled. The Grizzled, and that is by Cool Mini or Not, but it is not a typical Cool Mini or Not game. This is a very small co-op card game with a World War I theme. It has, it was initially published under the name Les Police, I don't know, so like LES, then new word POLIUS, and I assume that translates to The Grizzled or something close to it. But you're playing together to try to survive the trenches of World War I. It's very short, 30 to 45 minutes. You can play 2 to 5 players. Again, it's a co-op, so I wouldn't really say it's a war game by any means, but I haven't played it, but I don't think I would classify it as that. And it's simply tiles and cards. There's no miniatures or anything involved in it, but it is definitely, well, you talk about an underused theme, and World War I is one, because, unless you're doing a true war game, it's pretty hard to make a theme out of it other than that. So, but they've apparently done it. It's won many European accolades and gotten a lot of publicity over there. So again, it's called The Grizzled from Cool Mini or Not, and it has a $20 price point. So heck, for 20 bucks, you probably can't go too wrong. Okay, my number 4 is a game from Artana Games, and it is Tesla versus Edison. I spoke about Artana Games in the other video with the demos with Corrupted Kingdom, and again, this is another game that has high quality components, high quality production value, and it is a worker placement, kind of economic card game. There's some bluffing involved, it's hand management, action points. It's got a lot of things going on in it, and it looks really nice. It may not be the most exciting theme for a lot of people, but I like the idea of Tesla versus Edison fighting for these different technologies and battling it out, because neither one of them were exactly the beacon of shining light, excuse the pun, when it came to standards and morals and values. When it came to their inventions, they were willing to do quite a bit to get the foot up on other people. So it's an interesting game, and again, Artana Games, one of the best demo teams out there right now. So I hope to not only maybe demo it again, but purchase it and bring it home for my collection. Okay, my number 3 is The Village Crone. The Village Crone by Fireside Games. This is this is one of those games that almost went on my honorable mention list, because they do have limited copies, but they're doing limited copies per day. So hopefully I'll be able to pick it up on one of the days. I think they have 100 copies per day of the con. So hopefully, if that includes Sunday, maybe I'll snag it Sunday morning. I'm going to ask him to find out for sure. So anyways, designed by Anne-Marie DeWitt. It's 1 to 6 players, 90 minutes. It's a really cool theme. It's a modular board, worker placement, but you're a witch and you're trying to go around and get different, it's hard to explain. It's, you can cast spells on people, you can turn other players into different things. It is a, I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about it, but I'm so enthralled and intrigued by it that I am willing to buy it almost sight unseen, just from the brief description on BGG. So I apologize. Check it out on BGG, The Village Crone, Fireside Games. They give a description of it, and it does have a $50 price point. but it is one that I think I've heard enough people talking about it here and there that I think it might be a sleeper hit of the con. And definitely with them limiting the number of copies per day, it just kind of lends to that anticipation and that excitement for it. So again, my number 3, The Village Crone. Okay, my number 2, we're close to getting to the end, but my number 2 is Discoveries by Ludenat. This is kind of a follow-up to Lewis and Clark, only this is a dice rolling worker placement version of the game. I know it's different than Lewis and Clark, supposedly a little more streamlined, 60 to 90 minutes. Same artist, it appears. And I'll tell you, it just looks beautiful. I love Lewis and Clark. It's a great game. I like the whole exploration aspect of it, the growth of our nation throughout history. So for me, it's definitely one that I'm going to pick up, and it's only a $40 price point. And for games nowadays, especially of the quality that Lewis and Clark was, this is even close to it. $40 is a good price to jump in at. So Discoveries, my number 2. All right, and finally, my number 1 game that I hope to purchase at GenCon. Is it the whole reason I'm going to GenCon? No, but it's certainly one of the top reasons I'm going, which is kind of silly because I know I'm going to be able to pick this game up online, so I really wouldn't even have to go. But since I'm going to be there, I'm going to buy it just so I can look at it in my hotel room late at night and touch all the cards and think of all the great fun that I'm going to have with my family and friends playing the game. And that is the expansion to Legendary Marvel Secret Wars. Now, I know a lot of people are talking all about Predator, and I like Predator. I don't own Aliens, my buddy does, so hopefully he buys Predator. But the Legendary Marvel game is one of our favorites in our house. It just has so much replayability, and so I'm really looking forward to the Secret Wars, seeing which characters are involved in it, and I can't wait to get it back and play it. So again, my number 1 game to purchase at GenCon, Legendary Marvel Secret Wars, the expansion to the base game, or probably as a standalone game even as well. I'm not sure. I don't really care because I have the base game. But it's by Upper Deck Entertainment, 1 to 5 players. And it only has a $40 price point, and I think you're getting about 400 new cards. So, yeah, no brainer. Not that I need any more stuff for Marvel Legendary, but for $40 and 400 cards, you're darn right I'm going to buy it. And I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to sleeve them, and I will call them George. So, I don't know what your games are you're looking forward to coming out of GenCon. If you have any, put them in the comments below. And hopefully I will follow up with a video after GenCon, letting you know which games I got and if they actually meet the expectations that I thought they were going to when I made this video. I know I'm going to do that for the demo ones, and let you guys know how those played out. And I'll let you know if any of the ones I looked at here, maybe I didn't pull the trigger on because turns out they weren't what I thought they were going to be once I got them in my hands and looked at them. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, rest of the week. It's only a day or two until GenCon, so if you're headed out that way, be safe. Get down there, have a great time, meet friends, meet new friends, and play as many games as you want, or check out as many new games as you want, or take part of the spectacles of the parades and the cosplays and the true dungeons and whatever else they've got going on down there. But most importantly, have a great time, be safe, and I will talk to you again after the convention is over. So until the next time, I'll see you at the next social event. Take care.